Origins in the American Revolution and Early Republic. The roots of the U.S. Army trace back to the early days of the American Revolution. On June 14, 1775, the Second Continental Congress established the Continental Army, the first official fighting force of the United States, by uniting 22,000 militia members besieging Boston with an additional 5,000 in New York. Civilian control was a key principle from the start, with the Army placed under a 5-member civilian board. George Washington assumed command on July 3, 1775, quickly realizing the limits of militia troops, who often left service after immediate threats faded. In January 1776, in response to Washington's pleas for a more reliable force, Congress created a national standing army. These troops, known as Continentals, enlisted for longer terms and received better training than state militias, becoming Washington's core fighting force and the foundation of the regular army. At war's end, Congress asked Washington to outline a post-war military structure. His response, Sentiments on a Peace Establishment, May 1, 1783, recommended a small regular army to address frontier threats and serve as a base for an organized, standardized national militia. Washington also called for the development of domestic arms industries, arsenals, and a military education system. Despite the strategic insight, Congress largely ignored his plan. On November 2, 1783, nearly the entire army was disbanded, leaving just 80 soldiers to guard military stores. Still, frontier conflicts quickly forced an increase in troop levels. By the time Washington became president in 1789, 595 men were in service. The 1787 Constitution granted the president authority as commander-in-chief, and Congress established the Civilian Department of War in 1789. Washington tasked Secretary of War Henry Knox with drafting military policy in line with sentiments. But Congress rejected his key proposal for a centralized national militia in the 1792 Militia Act, wary of federal overreach and resistance from state militia leaders. Despite this, Washington persuaded Congress to grow the standing army in response to escalating frontier tensions. The Army fluctuated over the years, 1 regiment in 1789, 3 in 1791, 5 in 1792 following a major defeat by Native Americans, 9 in 1798 amid tensions with France, and varying between 3 and 11 regiments through 1808. During the War of 1812, the limitations of the Militia Act became evident. While the regular army reached about 60,000 men, it struggled against British forces and their Native American allies. Despite mobilizing 460,000 militiamen during the war, only a fraction saw combat. Most infamously, 6,500 fled the battlefield at Bladensburg, Maryland, after a single British volley. Post-war, the army was reduced to 10,000 men, dropping to 6,127 by 1821. It gradually expanded again during frontier conflicts, reaching 12,577 by 1838. After the Second Seminole War ended in 1842, numbers fell again to 8,113, which remained the authorized strength as the U.S. approached the Mexican-American War in 1846.